All right, we're gonna show off the build in a breach real quick. So yeah, this build is just it's pretty much where it's gonna be. There are some spots where I could improve. It's not much. It's pretty min-maxed. I mean, outside of doing some really crazy things. But like, you don't even have to have the extra boost to your evasion and damage through your totems. Like, you can just spam Galvanic and just destroy everything. This is also a corrupted map, so everything respawns twice. But I mean, as you can see, we're just holding Galvanic and just spraying everything. I have cleared T4 Xesht, T4 King of the Mists. I haven't farmed Expedition. And Delirium, the frame drops are way too bad for me. So every time I do Delirium, it's like 10 frames and the animations don't load and I wind up dying every time. So it can definitely clear it, no problem. It's just a matter of that's Xesht over there. That's weird. You see him? His hands? It's just a matter of it's a pain in the ass. I'm also not running any lightning penetration on this build. Keep that in mind. I did have a Rakiata's Flow at one point, but I sold it to Craft. Now that I'm on +4 bosses, it probably would be a good idea to throw it on. But I mean, honestly, back when I did have it, I kept it on Galvanic for clear, and then I put it on Shock Burst for bossing, and I really didn't notice that much of a difference. But that was before I was +4 bosses. So I think now might make a difference is not having any lightning penetration. Like, there's some, like some of the Citadel bosses, actually I think it's only the Act 2 Citadel boss. I do no damage to him now. I'm assuming because I just don't have lightning penetration. And it's like 100,000 damage a second. Like, it's absolutely horrible, the damage output. All right, this map obviously has, I don't know, 3 breaches? 4? Okay, so we got like a 10 breach map here. So, you know, why not just pop them all? Just keep going. But yeah, as you can see, it just wrecks everything. Our evasion, pretty good.
Simple enough.
You know, could it be better? Sure, but it's fine enough. We get like, I don't know, 51, 52% evasion. And then basically from there, we get like 23% deflection. Yeah, I mean, as you can see, we're max res. We're just standing, blasting, and just killing everything. So if you're wondering how this is in maps, I mean, this is thickest density you're gonna see. You know what I mean? And it's also really nice because you have, you know, you have the pin. So yeah, you can always roll to get your Mirage Archer, place some totems down as you go, and everything just dies. I mean, the best part about this build is just the pin, you know. All right, I just want to show just like a normal map that, you know, doesn't have 10 breaches on it. It's just very, everything just explodes, you know. And this isn't even with totems. Like, sure, you can place totems down, but it's just, you know, on top of them just instantly popping, you got to remember they get pinned. So if they don't die, they're pinned, you know. Like, we don't have to switch to Shock Burst for that. We don't need that extra 100% damage. Oh, perfect. Boss. All right, where's Dude Man at? Shotgun Boar. There we go. Easy, you know, easy. That's it. Totems. Hope your boar shocks him fast enough. Pop emergency reload. Roll to get your dude out and just blast him. All right, now that we did all 10 breaches, let's do a boss. Galvanic, shock burst, totems, and then roll. Pop emergency reload, and they're dead. That easy. Now this is all +4, by the way, so, and that's with no penetration. None. But I mean, for +4, considering how it was in Dawn of the Hunt, way tougher now. They're a lot more tankier than they used to be, and with the nerf to shock burst rounds, I mean, all things considered, and the fact that we don't have rage. There's a way to get rage. I talk about it somewhere in this video, but it's a pain in the ass, but you can get rage. All right. Tier 3 Xesht, I guess, since it's not tier 4 anymore. Maximum Xesht. Now, yeah, keep in mind his hitbox is still a little goofy. It's very easy. Stay on the edge, blast them as they pop up, and you just haul. That's it. Like, it's that easy. You just stay right on the edge. As soon as they come up, blast them. It's very easy. I'm not going to show this the whole way. As you can see, you know, it's easy. So I'll see you when we get to Xesht. Okay, so like I was saying, Xesht's hitbox is still a little goofy. So basically, if you're not standing at the right spot, you will shoot past his hands or his wings, whatever you want to call them, and you'll just be doing no damage. So try to keep that in mind. And make sure your totems stay out. Make sure you're firing. And it should be good to go. So I'm going to wait till he pretty much peels off the wall. Shoot Galvanic to get 25% boost, switch to shock burst. 1, 2, 3, 4 totems. Maybe another 1, 2. There's that. Shock him. See, we're not really hitting him. We kind of are now. I'm going to place totems again. He's going to try to shock me with that bullshit. Okay. We're going to get him. See, we're not hitting him. He's pinned. Get our guy out. He's going in the ground. As you see, damage isn't like too crazy. Like, we don't have lightning penetration, so that's kind of an issue here. And he's dead. And not too bad, considering like how much they nerf shock burst rounds and everything. You know, it's really not too bad. All right, now we're gonna run a T4. I don't even know if it's still called T4. King of the Mist. This one, a little sketchier. It's not horrible. All right, so we get a 1, 2, 3, 4. He's shocked. Avoid that. That almost killed me. Push this phase really quickly. Sick. Yeah, I rolled too early, and he hit us with that first attack, but it's okay. All right, we're going right in there. And then let him do his thing here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And put some more. Get that. Pin him, and we'll just blast him away. Okay, so yeah, this isn't as hard as I remember it. Scoot away. He's dead. Yeah, not so bad, right? Not so bad. Oh, Omen of Areola. Okay, that's all right. That's what you drop? That's crazy. You could give me like a rare one, a Whitling, or you know, something cool. You give me that. They're like, you might die soon. Here you go. I also want to point out, while you're mapping, Galvanic gives you Innervate, and we also have Onslaught on our weapon. So if you see on the bar below here, Innervate We get, I think it used to be 35%. I think it's only 25% extra lightning damage now. And Onslaught gives us 20% skill speed and then more movement speed. Now, ideally, it's going to cost like probably 15, 20, even more divines to re-roll Onslaught off of my crossbow to get attack speed, and then to hope that the Essence of Battle puts +6 over Onslaught. It's going to be a lot of like gambling until I get the right mix. So ideally I want 19% skill speed on the bow, and then I'll put iron runes on it, and it'll put my DPS at like 767 on the top end of the crossbow. But with how it's set up now, big damage boost for mapping is Onslaught and Innervate. Like, I mean, massive. Like, without totems, it takes our basic bolt from like 107,000 up to 152,000. Adds like basically 10,000 DPS to Galvanic, and Shock Burst is pretty massive with it. Now, if I put totems down, all 4 totems while we have it, and I make sure I have my buddy, and then we also switch weapons here. Well, he's dead. And get it back. All right, so without any buffs, get him. As you saw, the basic bolt was only 79,000. So we basically gained 28,000 base DPS just by having our companion, okay? 23,000 and 84,000. We put everything down, and then we start blasting. We got both, and we got his aura. As you can saw, we went from 107,000 to 174,000 base DPS. Galvanic went from what we're at, 22,000, 35,000. And this is to 123,000. Pulse damage is 505,000. Keep in mind, we have 250% crit damage bonus. That's a lot of damage. Herald of Thunder, big. Even our Mirage Archer is doing 255,000 on the pulse. So keep in mind that once you got all your buffs up and you got 4 totems down, your damage almost doubles, which is pretty crazy. And on top of all the buffs, we have a bunch on the tooltip that doesn't it doesn't show on the tooltip. So if I look, we get an extra 10, 30, 50% damage against immobilized enemies, okay? And then Intimidated gives us another 10%. So it's 60% damage when our ballistas immobilize the enemy. Immobilize is pinned, okay? So all of our projectile damage pins, okay? So you're always going to be doing this extra 60%, okay? And then we get maimed enemies. Now, our ballistas maim enemies on hit every time, 100%. So that's combined with that is 100% attack damage when our ballistas are hitting and we've got all the enemies pinned. So I guess if you want to take that 174,000 and double it, we're doing basically 300,000 on the base DPS, okay? And then 250% for our crit, if that's how that's all gonna work. It's a lot of damage, okay? It's a lot of damage. I just want to show what my evasion gets up to while you have all 4 totems down and you've hit an enemy recently, which is the past 4 seconds. So our evasion gets up to 52%. I believe it's a flat 40% without. Pretty good, right? And deflection is at 24%. And all our resistances are capped. So it's really not too bad. All right, what'd you think? Not bad, right? Mapping, absolutely solid. The only problems you're probably going to have is when you go like T16, T17, juiced up, full Atlas, 6 mods, desecrated mod, just with all the extra buffs to prefixes and suffixes on the Atlas passive skill tree. It gets a little rough at times. Keep in mind, we don't have shield. We don't have armor. We're just full evasion, deflection. We do have max res, but that's the only time you're probably going to see some issues. I mean, look, Mercenary, just energy shield is still the best. All right. and it just, you lose way too much. They already nerfed a lot of our skills here, okay? So you're just gonna lose way too much to pump energy shield, okay? But regardless, as you can see, the way the build works, we have 4 totems, 1, 2, 3, 4. Every time we switch ammo, we get an extra 25%. You can see how fast they fire, and then we got our bore here. So without Innervate, without Onslaught, our base DPS gets up to like 170,000. Now, if you want to get fancy, I'm going to show this right in the beginning. What you can do is you can grab a unique. Now, if you remember, rage used to be a thing. You could put on your totems, bam, you get rage. It was a big boost of damage. They took that away from us, okay? So if you get Blood of the Warrior here, what this does is gives you rage when you're hit. No inherent loss of rage. Now, let me show you something new on the passive tree. Okay, so basically, I used to always put rage on my totems. I'd stay by my totems. I would have up to 44 rage. I'd have the berserk. It was like double damage. It was nice. So if I refund my weapon set 2, just a few passives, basically I can go 1, 2, 3. Gain 8 rage when you use a life flask. Okay, so with that and with this life flask, keep in mind, it doesn't recover any health. A max quality 85 life. So if you want to run the risk of just living off of cannibalism while you're mapping, you can literally double your damage. You can get your base DPS well above 200,000. And Shock Burst was at like, I think it was like 900 some thousand on the pulse, which with all of our buffs only gets to 505,000. So you're basically doubling your damage if you use this along with Berserk Spirit Gem. But the other thing with that is you basically have to, you get an extra 68% increased rage effect. But you have to remove Herald of Ash, put this on because we're out of skill slots, and then use it to boss. So it's more of a pain in the ass than anything. As you saw, our damage was fine without it. But if you want, what you can do is it would be set the weapon set 2. So as soon as you place your totems, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, and you would have 30 rage for 5 seconds. And then with that, you could obviously, it's not on my tooltip right now because I'm not going to switch the nodes again. It's a pain in the ass. But that is a thing. I should have a photo of it. Actually, this was the photo with 30 rage with all my buffs. Okay, so if you do want to go this route and put rage on and run that flask and pull out, I can show you which ones to pull out real quick. But basic bolt DPS, we're at 107,000 flat. 301,000. That's how much damage we're losing from them taking away Berserk on our totems. Like, it's such a big chunk that they took away from us. But yeah, as you can see, Shock Burst rounds is at 216,000 base DPS, and Galvanic is 61. So 61 and 216. 107. That's not right at all. So Galvanic was at 61,000 DPS. So it basically triples it. And Shock Burst was at like 216,000, 2.5 times just from getting Berserk. So if you want to run that, go ahead. So basically you need 3 on your weapon set 2. So what you're going to remove totem damage, and then you're going to come over here and remove the crit chance. And that'll give you 3. And then you can go 1, 2, 3, and you'll have your flash. You just 1, 2, 3, 4, pop it 4 times, and then you got that. But make sure you go 1, 2, 3, 4, and you pop it then before you start spraying. Because if you start spraying, you're going to be back on weapon set 1. But literally triples your damage if that's the route you want to go. So with that out of the way, the build, okay, you have Galvanic for clear, and then Shock Burst for rares if you need it. Your totems, we got 4 totems. Each one gives 10% attack speed and evasion armor. So you're getting 40% more attack, evasion, which then boosts your deflection rating. Okay. And then we also get 60% evasion if you've hit an enemy recently. So we're getting 100% evasion while we have our totems and we're mapping. Okay. So our evasion is only 40%. So while we're mapping, it gets like 51%. And our deflection goes to 23, 24%. So just with our totems, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, we are at 45% evasion, and then that 60% puts us over the 50%. Okay, so we have full res. I have invested a lot of divines into this build. I've been playing it exclusively for 2.5 weeks. All right, it is very expensive. This crossbow alone, I've got 2 videos on it. I'll link both below so you can start, and then you can try to craft exactly what you want. It's going to be very expensive to re-roll Onslaught off to get the 19% attack speed, and then that way I can put on the iron runes, which will then take the physical damage. It was like 250 to like 767, so going to be another big damage boost. And then I'll link the other video for this one to get the +1 to summon totems, so that's obviously the offhand. And completely redid my rings. We got crit on this. I mean, it's a very expensive build. Like, I've put 58 divs onto this crossbow alone. Okay, everything else you can probably make for like 5 div a pop, but I mean, we're pretty late into the league at this point, 2.5, 3 weeks. So, but pretty much how it works is you go in, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, pop a mana flask, make sure you fire Galvanic before you go in, because you got 25% damage by firing other ammo for 10 seconds. So when the boss is loading, whatever he's doing, pop that, then go 1, 2, 3, 4, pop a mana flask, go to shock burst, roll to get your dude out, your pedal, shock them, bam, emergency reload, and they're dead. It's a little bit of setup, but it's not too bad, you know, and that's the build. That's it. I mean, this alone, I mean, look at these things. Boom, boom. Like, they fire. Like, the arrows are crazy. And then with the arrows, we're getting 40% extra damage against immobilized enemies. Okay, we immobilize, pin with all our projectiles on hit, just instant pin. Okay, then we get an extra 10% for the intimidated. Or no, we get 50% against immobilized. We get 10% for the intimidated, which puts us at 60% against immobilized. Then we get another 40% attack damage against maimed enemies. Our totems maim on hit, so that's 100% extra attack damage that does not show in the tooltip. Okay, so when I'm hitting 5,000 on the pulse, I don't know if that is 100 times, that's a million. You know, we're already doing the 250% for crit damage, which puts that at 1.7 mil per second. I don't have any lightning penetration. I am level 94. I was running Rockiatas, but I sold it for, what was it, 27 divines to finish crafting my crossbow. I was running that on Galvanic, the support gem. Basically inverts elemental resistances. I tried it on shock burst rounds on bosses, and I did 2 bosses without it, and then I did 2 bosses with it. I didn't notice a difference, and I made sure I did the same boss. I didn't notice a difference. I've heard a lot of people say that. I don't know if it's bugged, you know, but I could yap about this build all day. I've been literally working on it for almost 3 weeks. But let's get into how it works. It will all be on a Mobilytics guide. This is more detailed, me talking about it here in the video, because it's way easier to sit here and yap to you about how the build works versus spending 3 hours to type up a guide. Okay, I just rather just make a video. All right, it's just easier, but we'll have everything in there. So skills, you're looking at Artillery Ballista. Okay, as far as support gems go, you're looking at Heft, Urgent Totems 3, Armor Break 3, Projectile Acceleration 3. I get a lot of questions about this. The increases and reductions to projectile speed also apply to projectile damage. So the 40% speed that it gives you off of this does not count towards damage. We have a cluster up here. We get 8, 16, 31% projectile speed. Okay, so this makes our spray, our galvanic, go farther, and it gives us the extra damage. So if you look at the skills, we're actually getting projectile speed modifier 83%. Okay, so that's 43% extra damage, but that projectile speed, it makes the ballistas just pow, pow, like as soon as they fire, they're down, just crazy, right? And it makes galvanic spray past the screen. Projectile speed is very necessary for these builds, okay? So I just wanted to explain that because a lot of people ask questions about the projectile acceleration. And then I have rapid attacks 2. Rapid attacks 3 is cancer. I hate it. I'd rather just have the attack speed. This build is really, really solid with attack speed. Okay, but that's for Ballista. Okay, now Galvanic Shards, double barrel 3. I was using a Gemini bow. Okay, but because it gives you, you know, an extra bolt. But with everything we have and like a 30% chance to not do like the reload animation, sometimes you'll spray 9-10 bolts and you don't even reload because it's just luck is on your side. So if you want to run a Gemini, go for it, but this also has a little bit less or a little bit quicker reload time. But yeah, so anyway, Galvanic Shards, double barrel 3, we get an additional bolt. Okay, Innervate, this used to be 35%, it is now 25%. Very big for mapping. Fork, yeah, big for map clearing. Projectile acceleration again, so we get all that speed, we get the extra damage. And then lightning attunement, 25% extra lightning damage is big. If we remove that, you can see obviously we lose 5,000 DPS. It is quite massive. Shock burst round, this is your bossing big single target damage. Okay, rapid attacks 2, because without it we lose 10,000 DPS. Attack speed is big. Concentrated area, this only shows on the tooltip if you look at pulse, but it is massive for upping your pulse damage. If you never played this before, you have to shock the enemy, okay, and then that's where the big damage comes in from this. We got pinpoint critical. Since we're running Malagaro's gloves, they used to be 300% critical damage bonus. Now it's just 250, and even with this pinpoint critical, we lose 30% less critical damage bonus. It doesn't show in the tooltip, so I'm pretty sure since we have the Malagaro's gloves that it just negates that, unless it's just not showing on the tooltip. So we either have 250% critical damage bonus or 220%. I don't know. I'm assuming we have the 250, but big crit chance. If you take this off, damage goes down. So crit chance last league in Dawn of the Hunt, it didn't show on your DPS tooltip. Keep in mind, I also have this, which is 80% if you haven't dealt a critical hit recently. This is mainly for like Galvanic and pretty much it. You're not going to notice this when you're using shock burst rounds, but this is mainly for mapping so you can get crits with Galvanic. But if I take that 80% off, our DPS will drop a lot. So it does reflect on the tooltip. Lightning attunement, again, big damage. And pin 2, because we get 50% critical hit chance against immobilized enemies. So shock burst, our crit hit chance is 58.07%. Okay, take off that 80%, I think it goes down like 51 or 52%. So we pretty much 50-50 shot to crit on every bullet. It's not per clip, it's per bullet. And we are firing, can he get over here? He's over here. Did we lose some? Basically 13 attacks per second. I think we were up to 17 at one point. Well, when Onslaught's on, once we replace that, it basically like 14 to 17 attacks per second. That means, say you have 14, you've got 7 of them bolts per second is hitting for double, you know, for crit. Okay. And then you got to figure we also have 110% critical hit chance against immobilized enemies. So if you take that off of our base crit, off the weapon, pretty much let's just even it out 10%. Okay, that's gonna give us 100% of that. So that's what, another 20% basically crit chance. So our crit chance is technically 70 to 75% with this, which is pretty massive. It's pretty good. Okay, so yeah, you have more, you're doing crits. All right, and yeah, so that's shock burst. Okay, Emergency reload, efficiency 2 for less cost, and cooldown recovery 2. Herald of Thunder, lightning attunement, running this on all our lightning skills. Living lightning 2. If you, this is like a minion, if you'll see, like I had like these like ball lightning orbs around me and they go attack enemies. Why not? It's a cool effect. It looks cool. I feel like they don't shock, but then sometimes it feels like they shock the enemies for me. They do decent damage. It scales with your dex and your strength, but it's cool. Whatever. Like Herald of Thunder already instantly pops anything it touches, so I was like, why not? Bone Shrapnel. So Herald of Thunder is always hitting pinned enemies. So you'll see the bone shrapnel fly off of them, and they actually buffed this. It now does 25% of the pinned target's maximum life as physical damage, and it's a 2. It's basically as big as our Herald of Ash. So that's a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage. Do not sleep on bone shrapnel. Elemental Focus. We're not doing ailments with this. We're just doing straight lightning damage. And then Elemental Armament 2. All right, Wind Dancer, obviously to buff our evasion even more. I tried, because it says it's compatible, the Rage 3, so you can gain Rage on melee hit, since Gale Force is a melee hit, but it doesn't give me Rage, so sad. Anyway, so we got Blind 2, blind them if they hit you. Close Combat, because it's popping right off of your body. Cannibalism 1, okay, 2% of max life on kill, and I got Vitality 1, so we regenerate 1% of max life. Companion, I've gone over this in all my build guides. We need a very specific companion, and where you're going to farm this guy is in Act 3 in the campaign, okay? There's a place called, I don't know why Act 3 is just gone for me. There's a place right like up here. It's called Infested Barrens. There's a checkpoint, and at that checkpoint there'll be the boar and an antlion. You're gonna keep respawning at that checkpoint and check for the boar's stats. To make this build very easy for bossing, you need your companion to have all damage shocks, okay? That way, as soon as a boss spawns, when we set up our totems, we roll, we get the Mirage Archer, the boar aggroes the boss, shocks the boss, and then we go straight into shock burst. If we didn't have that, we'd have to shoot there, bop, 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 shoot Galvanic until that motherfucker would get shocked, and then switch to shock burst. By then, he could have already been dead if we have this set up. So it takes a bit to find the right one. I think it took us almost 2 hours of spamming it constantly, but it is worth it. You need all damage shocks with Haste Aura. Haste Aura gives us a big boost, 20% attack speed and 10% movement speed. 20% attack speed is a massive buff, okay? So with him, we're at 107,000 DPS. Let me get out of his range. 79,000. It's almost 30,000 DPS just from the aura of this guy, okay? It is a big must for this build. All damage shocks and haste aura, okay? So once you secure him, you're going to get Last Gasp. So that way, if the boss one-shots him, you still got him for 4 seconds, and you can kill the boss without your haste aura going away. This is massive. Loyalty. So they take 10% of damage before you do. Meat Shield. They do less damage, but they take less damage. You just want it to survive as long as possible. You're not using it to do big damage. Anything it touches will shock. Now, I did test out that new lineage gem where it's like minions can't die, but they do like no damage. I was hoping that it would still shock and then just never die, but because it's technically doing 0% damage, it's not shocking because it's not doing the damage to shock. So we threw that out the window. Lightning exposure, that way he gets exposure on shocking the bosses, and then elemental army, so he gets 30% res. Herald of Ash, we got fire mastery, magnified area, and vitality 2. Okay, so we're getting 3% life regen plus 2% on kill. And then Mirage Archer, this is new with Rise of the Abyssal. So basically, I gave this guy shock burst rounds. Now, with everything, I think he stays out for like 8, just about 9 seconds. So let me show you how this works. Right now, I'm going to roll, and he's going to come out. There's going to be no enemies, so he's not going to shoot. But, you see? There he is. So he'd start firing if there was an enemy. When he disappears, look at my hotbar. Ready? There's a countdown. You see it? Counting down. If I roll right now, it goes back to 6. So for you to use him again, you got to wait for that countdown to hit 0. Now I can roll, and he's back. But if you have to dodge mechanics or you're not paying attention, it resets that timer. So like, wow, it reset. Oh, I'm not paying attention to what I was shooting. Oh, I had to dodge roll. You're not going to have them. Okay, so make sure you run out that timer. Boom, you got him again. Okay, so that's how Mirage Archer works. So basically what we have is shock burst rounds. Make sure you give him a high level jewel just like you do yourself. Max out the quality. It does matter. Then you're going to put elemental armament 2, lightning attunement, prolonged duration, makes him stay out longer, and rapid attacks for 25% attack speed. And that'll do it for all of our skills, okay? Now, if you notice, I have 179 spirit. I'm going to tell you exactly how much spirit you need, and it is very important that you get that spirit. I've seen some comments on some, is there a workaround for the spirit? Yeah, the workaround, dumbass, is to fucking put spirit on your gear. What do you work around? We already got 50% reduced spirit costs. What the fuck you mean workaround? I don't know, dude, some comments blow my mind. Anyway, you know, we're still yapping, but let's go over the passive tree. Okay, we're running Tactician. This is all mobilytics. If it's easier for you to look on there, I will point out what's weapon set 1, what's weapon set 2, show you exactly where your dex and strength got to be. I think our highest strength, we need 147. I think dex is also 147. You could technically get rid of 1, maybe 2 int nodes with our setup, so we could probably run like 54, 55 int and probably be safe. But Tactician Ascendency, okay, pin build up, immobilization build up, pin build up, and projectile damage builds pinned, and pinned enemies cannot perform actions. This is so addicting. It's so fun. Everything you blast with Galvanic gets pinned, and it can't attack you. It can't do anything, and you can kill it before it has a chance to fucking do anything. And I absolutely love it. It'll stun lock bosses out of their, if they're mid animation on doing an attack, it'll stun lock them. Sometimes it will leave, like if you notice Xesht from the beginning, the lightning circle that was about to go off stayed on the ground, but it wasn't hurting me. It's just a bug where when you know, block their attacks with this, it's just, it is what it is. But if you're new to the game and you're having a hard time, pin is so easy, dude. You're gonna love it. And then after that, 8% increased spirit plus reduced reservation. Now this does not affect the companion. I wish it did, but it doesn't. Okay. And then the last one, a lot of people don't like this because you have to fire. When they fire, a 30% skill speed on the ballistas is absolutely game changing. Plus this gives us +1 to totem. So if you wanted to run over abundance, your totems would only last 7 seconds instead of 12 seconds. They used to last 16 seconds. They fucking nerfed it to 12. You want to run 5 totems, which it's just too much to manage. It's too much to put down, especially when they only last 7 seconds. You could have 5 totems, okay? But this attack speed it was like doubled our damage. It's absolutely massive for this build, as you can see when we have the totems, right? Look at how fast they fire. Boom, boom. And that's 4 of them all firing at the same time. Okay, now each one hits 4 times. So you're doing 800% pin build up. You're doing 3,200% pin build up every, I think it's like what is it? It's less than a second. Attacks per second, 1.44. Yeah. Where'd he go? 1.36. All right, so it's a little over, it's like, let's call it 1.5 per second, okay? So you're doing literally 4,800% pin build up a second. I don't know. It's ridiculous. Okay. So that's big for bossing. I do have armor break on it as well. So keep in mind, it also maims the enemies. And so immobilize, maim, and then we get the armor break. So we're doing 100% extra damage with the ballistas and our abilities to pinned and maimed enemies, plus that ballistas are doing armor break for another 20% extra physical damage against the enemies. It's just everything stacks up. It's crazy. Okay, so anyway, come down. I grab the attack speed. Like I said, this is on mobile X. It's way easier to just look at that and look around. Grab the armor and evasion. Come over here. Whatever stats you need to make this work, you know, put those on the nodes you need. Okay, grab all these two-handed damage, and then come up here, grab this 60% damage. Okay, this is normal passive, and then these two are weapon set 1. Come down here, you're gonna grab the projectile damage and speed. You're gonna grab the pin duration, 60% crit chance against immobilized. Okay, your hits cannot be evaded by pinned enemies, so accuracy doesn't even matter. And then pin duration and 40% attack damage against maimed enemies. Yeah, and if your totems run out and they become unpinned, they're maimed for 4 seconds. Like, they're always maimed. All right, they're always maimed. So then come down, grab this last, the extra evasion. Okay, like once you're level 90 to 94, you can hit these. You're gonna grab the increased attack damage while you have an ally in your presence. This is big damage when your companion's out. Attack speed, movement speed when you've killed recently. This is weapon set 2. These 4 are weapon set 2 because that's what our ballistas are set to. I will show you how to set that after the skill tree. I'll go over jewels once we hit all these. So I was spec'd into deflection, more deflection rating. Okay, I pulled all that back because I needed more stats. So I got 12 to all attributes plus the 7%. I needed it because I switch around gear to get more damage, and just without as much pathing as we used to do on Dawn of the Hunt, I just didn't have enough stats. And I had stats on like 4, like every piece of gear had stats, and I was like, this is ridiculous. So I grabbed that, and then you're gonna grab all the attack speed here. Okay, you're gonna come down, grab all this. All right, you're gonna grab the 1, 2, 3, 30% chance when you reload to be immediate. This is absolutely beautiful when it procs. And then these 2 crit chance are weapon set 1. Okay, and then this weapon set 1, 50% against demons, crit chance against humanoids, more mobilization against constructs. This is just a flat 10% damage. It's a pretty good boost. And then this is also weapon set 1. If I hit 95, 96, I'll probably grab this 21% penetration. This is weapon set 1. All this crit. This is 65% crit right here. And then path up to both of these jewel sockets on both ends are pathed with just your normal passive skills. Okay, no weapon sets, because you cannot grab jewel sockets with weapon sets. So then weapon set 1 is going to come up here and grab the 16% skill speed. And then over on this side, you're going to grab this right here and these 2 little greens on the side. That is set to weapon set 2, but all of this is your normal passive points. Okay, because we need the +1 summon totem for everything, because if we don't, when we go back to shooting shock burst, one of our totems would disappear. Plus we want the extra 40% attack damage when our totems are out all the time. Okay, so only these 2 on the ends are weapon set 2. Come up, grab the jewel, and then everything else is weapon set 2. You grab the totem damage. You're going to grab the totems regenerate 3%. This does give you 1% extra while the totems are down, even when, because it snapshots from weapon set 2, so it does affect. It doesn't always show in the tooltip, but it's there. Attack speed, attack speed, attack speed. So we're getting 8% attack speed, and then we get 16% attack speed because we have 4 totems. Okay, so that's 24% plus the Ascendency. You're looking at 54% attack speed without support gems, just the totems. It's absolutely massive. Then grab the damage, and then you're gonna come up, you're gonna grab totem damage, and then you're gonna hit this. Okay, so when our totems are in the presence of an enemy, basically 8% increased damage taken towards them, and we recoup 5% of damage taken from the totems as life to us. It's pretty good. All right, and that's my skill tree. Okay, it's pretty all right. You know, it's pretty all right. So jewels, and then I'll show you how to set the weapons. So our jewels, make sure you get 15-16% crit and try to get 20% evasion. And then if you have that on everything, make sure you get 15-16% crit chance on all your jewels. I haven't messed around with from nothing jewels or like extra damage jewels or the undying hate. I haven't messed with that. You know, some have like +3 to skills, so we could be even stronger. Haven't messed with that yet. Okay, I haven't gotten them to drop. I'm absolutely broke from crafting all these crazy weapons. But crit hit chance, evasion, and then just crossbow damage, attack speed with crossbows, projectile damage, whatever you want to get. This one's got the crit chance, elemental damage, projectile damage. These aren't optimal. Okay, again, evasion, only half of what it could be. Crit chance, attack speed, damage with crossbows. You're just looking for damage. Okay, but crit chance is a must. All right, and that's it for the passive tree. So they added where you can share the same weapon. All right, but we're not doing that anymore. We're gonna go over the items in just a minute. But weapon set 1 is just the big DPS, big dicker down. All right, weapon set 2 is going to be for ballistas. Okay, like I said, link in description how to craft a +1 ballista totem on your bow. Okay, so now that they've changed it, when you go to your bind screen, okay, and you bind your stuff to the hotbar, you can go to advanced info at the bottom. Hold that, and there's skill options now. This is where you set it. So you're going to set galvanic and shock burst to weapon set 1. And for your ballista, you're going to set to weapon set 2. Okay? It's that simple. Boom. You're done. Okay? It's that easy. So, equipment. Like I said, I'm 58 divs deep into this crossbow. This one wasn't too bad. If we got more, since ballistas scale off of your damage, honestly, I could craft an even better one and get more damage out of the ballistas. But honestly, the ballistas are just there to immobilize and to keep the pin on the bosses, okay? And to provide us with maim and pin to do 100% more damage. So pushing more damage on the ballistas, you're not going to notice. They can kill mobs on their own easily. White mobs, trash mobs. It can wreck them. Like, it can one shot them. It's just they're dead. But for bosses, not that big of damage. Okay, so that's its main purpose. So like I said, video in the description of how to craft this, video in the description of how to craft this as well. You're looking for crit chance, big fizz, flat lightning, +6, onslaught, or attack speed. That's what you want. Okay, everything else you're looking, let me pull this up. You're looking, like, I don't have life on these new boots I made. I don't have life on this ring. So I could easily get another 200 life. We could be at like 2,300 life. I just haven't gotten everything perfect. You know what I mean? But make sure you max your resistances. Like I said, evasion's 51% with totems and blasting. But basically, you're going to want to cap your res. So I also had a video come out today about how to craft these boots. Okay. Also link in the description. So basically you're looking for life and resistance on all your gear. So spirit, I got 2 spirit left over. So I've got 53 spirit and I've got 13 spirit. So I've got 66 spirit on my gear. You can get away with 64 spirit. I got 2 left. All right, 2 left. You can get away with 64 spirit, but make sure you get spirit on your chest and spirit on your amulet. Okay, I have 66. You want to run 66? That's what you want to shoot for, just to make sure you're not too short. Do it, okay? But you're looking for high evasion, spirit, and resistance. Okay, on your amulet, +2/+3 projectiles. Grab some mana. I am sitting at 849 mana. Your totems cost like 150 a pop. So when you place 4 totems, you're pretty much out of mana. Pop a flask, it goes right back up. While you're mapping, you get, it's very important that on one of your rings, you run at least 20 mana on kill. Okay, well, at least 20 mana on kill. This will keep you topped off all during the maps. All right, like, it's solid. But for bossing, once you place your 4, you're gonna have to pop a flask. It's just how it is. Okay, but make sure you get at least 20 mana per enemy killed. Okay, so back to this: life, mana, whatever stats you need. Like, I got intelligence on this. I also have strength here, and I have dex on a ring. So I pretty much have 1 int, 1 strength, 1 dex. This is a low dex roll. Lowest. I still can corrupt that and try to get a double socket. But whatever you need to hit your stats so you can have level 19, level 20 skill gems, go for it, okay? So the belt, again, life, mana. I think it's T1 life, yeah. Life, mana, resistances, boots. We got the 100% socket, so the runes are giving me double, not 14, 28. So I'm getting 28 fire, lightning, and cold off of this. The deflection rating on the boots, I thought was just going to go off of the evasion rating on the boots. Wrong. So when I said I removed it off my passive tree to get the stats, the polymathy, I got it back from the boots. This goes off of your total evasion, not just the boots. Okay, so you can see our deflection is 1364. If it was going off at 18% of the boots, it would be like 150 evasion. It would be like 150 deflection rating. So that's nice. Okay, so that's big. The only unique we're running is Malagaro's Virtuosity. Used to give 300% critical damage bonus. Now it's 250. Yeah, and whatever runes you got to switch around to get yourself max res, do it. I'm running a whatever that purple rune is. It gives you flat fizz, just because it was like an extra like 2,000 DPS, 1,000 or 2,000 DPS. Every little bit counts. So that's that. My rings. You want T1, T2, flat fizz, flat lightning. Okay, here I have T3 fizz and T2 lightning. Big life, whatever stat you need, the mana on kill, and then I have lightning and chaos res on that one. This is my best ring. I fractured T1 fizz and I crafted this. I do have a video on this as well. Link in the description. So I got the flat fizz. I got T2 flat lightning, T3 cold. It's extra damage, whatever. I wanted the percent the lightning, didn't get it. I've got plus 11 to elemental res. I think top is 15, 16. Rarity, I don't want the rarity, but I got it. Okay, and then fire and chaos res on that. But I mean, that alone is a lot of damage. Like, if we remove that ring, like 93,000. Okay, it's the big boost. The big boost, getting the flat damage on the rings. Okay, and then charms, I'm running Sangui's Harem Staunching Charm. Okay, so when you start bleeding, you get immune to it, and then you get consecrated ground. I don't know if it has, I never see it, but I'm sure it's giving it to me. I'm running this, so basically usually take cold damage from a hit. Actually, I don't need that anymore because I have max cold res. So basically, I need to replace that with the one that prevents you from being frozen. Yeah, ideally the one that prevents you from being frozen, because like when you open the chest, I have like, you know, it freezes you right away. It's just better. Okay, I was running this because I was down on cold res while I was crafting. And then I have Arakali's Gift, Antidote Charm, grants immunity to the poison, and then it recovers life and mana when you become poisoned. Flasks, I mean, rank whatever you can. I got 1579 life heal, and I got 606 mana heal. And I think that's it. Long video, a lot of yapping, but this is pretty much the final form. I mean, it's not really going to get much better. Like I said, I can remove Onslaught and then roll the 17 and 19% skill speed, which then is only going to boost us 1 to 3%. And then we can pump the Iron Runes to get the flat or the fizz to like the 767, which another 100 damage is going to be massive. But then you figure, well, right now we're getting 36% skill speed when Onslaught's on. But when we're bossing, which is the only thing we care about, when we're bossing, we don't have Onslaught. So by us going that 17 to 19% attack speed, we are technically gaining 1 to 3% attack speed, plus an extra 100 flat fizz on the top end. It's gonna make our bossing even stronger. So that's the idea for that. But yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it. I've done all Breach, all King of the Mists. I gotta finish Delirium and the fucking treasure bullshit, whatever it's called. And that's it, man. So anyway, yeah, it's very, very costly. I do have build guides where, building up to this point, but this has become quite the expensive build. It's not quite as strong as it was in Dawn of the Hunt. Keep in mind, Shock Burst got nerfed by 15%. Galvanic is a lot slower with spraying, but we made it work. It's decent. It can kill top pinnacles. I've been selling those red fragments. Here, I'll show you. The ones you get once you max out your boss tree. These, the Calamity fragments. So I haven't done that as Arbiter yet, but we should easily be able to kill Arbiter, no problem. We've done regular Arbiter, obviously, but we haven't done that yet. But everything else, piece of cake. Fun. As you can see, it's just blast. All right. Anyway, appreciate the support. Subscribe, come back, check out the videos in the description, check out us live streaming. We do it all. All right. See you on the next one.